Welcome to my video on the Cajun Bayou broiler. This broiler is made by RV Works of Homer, Louisiana. It's an American-made product, made in the United States by Americans. It comes on a sturdy, they called it a weld ment. A weld ment. M-E-N-T-L-E-W-E-L-D-M-E-N-T, and they have different sizes of these for their various products they make, such as the bigger Cajun pliers and the big griddles, you know, and the broilers and all that. The boilers. This is the broiler. Okay, and as you can see, there's your adjustable air intake, which you loosen this nut. And you open that up, and then you can tighten the nut down. Here's your needle valve. Turn it to the right. That closes it, shuts off the fire, and goes to the left, and that opens it up. And it goes around and around and around. I'll tell you, this thing, it's said to be 1,000 to 1,200 degrees. Believe it. It is. You're going to see it. The pressure regulator, propane gas, which is liquefied, flashes to a gas. HVAC people know all about this stuff. There's your valve, of course. You know, your nut. Everything should be tested with sudsy water. I'm not with RV Works. I have no association with them. I just like their products. I've got a 4-gallon Cajun fryer that I bought about 5 years ago. Bass Pro down by Richmond, Virginia, off 95. So this is a 10 psi, and it's red. Now that means high pressure regulator. They used to have silver ones that were low pressure. Maybe they still do. I don't know what they did with the color coding. I've got a jet pipe burner for steaming crabs. That's 20 psi. Let me tell you, that just goes to a jet just like this. Got a needle valve on it. You know, they usually put the needle valves right on the lines when they're higher pressure. And my jet pipe's got a needle valve, and when you light that off, it's like the afterburner of an F-104 Tomcat or something like that. It's real loud. Whoosh! You know? And they put out about 160,000 BTU. This is rated at max BTU of 60,000 BTU. That's a lot. British thermal units, 60,000 BTU. You're going to see how hot it gets. You've got fire brick on the inside. You can see them through that crack right there. This top area right here is where your exhaust gases come out. So this has to be used outside always. Never bring this thing inside and use it as a heat source. It will heat, you know, but it'll kill you. Carbon monoxide poison is deadly. Okay? So you've got various vents on here, handle to pull on it, okay? And you have your door. You should always keep the door open. Never shut that door when you're cooking, when you are broiling. That's what RV Works states. It's got a sturdy steel pedestal, box tubing, okay? Flat steel on the bottom. It's attached to the same type of rectangular piece of flat steel. Wheels and casters in the front of this weld ment cart. There you have a sturdy steel, you know, preparation table, and this will get hot. Now commercial gas broilers like West Bend's, something like Peter Luger Steakhouse, famous on the internet, you know, they have a 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch, 5/8, something like that, thick stainless steel, smooth machine, you know, plate. That's the searing plate on some of these commercial gas broilers. They take those 28-day aged, you know, prime beef, porterhouse roast, and they put them up there and they sear both sides. You can do the same thing in an iron skillet. I'd have. My first steak I broiled just the other day. It was a prime New York strip steak, and it came from Walmart, Wally's. It was $18 something cents. It was wonderful. I cooked it too long. It was well done. But I eat steak from rare to well done. I just don't like rare that much. Medium rare will be much better. So here's our grill. stainless steel expanded metal is what that is called. And it's got metal welded onto it. It comes out of there. Pull it out. If I pull it out all the way, don't pull your tray out too far. It'll fall right on the ground. It'll come out. And it is shaped in the valley down below, so the grease goes to the back and it drips down into this tray, this grease tray. As you see, I've had a few cooks on it. They all came out wonderful. Last night I did broiled shrimp, and man, that shrimp was wonderful. That was great. So easy to do. Just pull the shells off, leave the tails on so you have something to hold on to. Or you can take the tails off. If you do broil shrimp with shells, you got to be careful. Got to lower the heat because those shells will burn. And then if you overdo shrimp with a shell on it, it will stick to the inside of the shell. Now I'm going to light it off. I'm going to come around here and I'm going to open up the valve. Okay, this is going to be tricky for me. So let me put my camera up here. Looking at my Boston Whaler Montauk. The Chesapeake Explorer, just like my YouTube name. As you can see, 1987 model, been all over the Chesapeake Bay, Potomac River, waters of Ocean City, Virginia Beach. And I'm going to light off, and I'll show you. I'll try to, I can't hold the camera and light off at the same time. Dan rub my head, so I'll just open the valve. There we go. Whoosh. You might have heard that. Okay. And here we are. It's lit off. Okay. This triple burner. Well, it's two long burner pipes. It's got a middle section, and they've got holes on both sides. Now you gotta adjust that air inlet to get the flame going right. It tells you in the instructions with this thing, but if you buy one used, you just loosen that nut as I explained, move your air inlet. You have to do it little by little. And the bottom line here is, even when you get it perfect, you're going to have yellow flames, and that's because it's propane. Propane is not as reliable as natural gas. It's liquefied, so is natural gas, but by the time it comes through the lines, it's gas vapor. So that's down low. It's not that low. Let me dial down, real down, because you don't want it too hot. You don't need this thing very hot. Right about right there, you roll a nice steak. A nice steak, shrimp, fish like I have, crab cakes. These broiled, and anything broiled is less fatty. It also doesn't flare up as much because the grease drips downward. With traditional barbecues, gas or charcoal, or you have a fire that goes upwards, and because of that, your drippings go down, get on the fire source, and ignite into flare-ups. You don't get that with broilers. This is just like a commercial broiler was until they started inventing the space-age ceramic infrared heating plates, which is also gas-powered, natural gas or propane. You have propane, yes, on real famous restaurants, because in some places, because there's no natural gas available. Okay, I'm trying to get everything covered here because my camera doesn't like to take too many pictures right now. Here it's down. Now let me dial it up. Here we go. Now, Adair and Company, the famous oil well blowout man who was portrayed with John Wayne playing the role of Adair in the movie Hellfire back in about 1968. He was an expert oil well blowout man, snuffing out these big, oil well fires. We might see one here in the Middle East, because right now we're at war with Iran. And so one of the oil well fires over there, they named it the Devil's Cigarette Lighter. Well, let me tell you something. When you got this thing going this hot, you could call it the Devil's Cigarette Lighter if you want. But I just call myself Chef Torch. That was my nickname my friends gave me when I lived in my apartment. And they said that my apartment was a pit, it was a man's apartment, That's what they call it. Animal house. Yeah. So, of course, I was Chef Torch, and my apartment was the Flaming Dungeon. Well, right here, that would be perfect for this Flaming Dungeon, wouldn't it? I better get this propane lighter off of here, too. Dial it down. I'll tell you what, my hand is getting hot right here. Oh, yep, I'm dialing her down. Dialing her down, people. Here we go. See, that goes a long way. That thing turns and turns that needle valve. So there we have it. That's the Cajun Bayou broiler. And here we go. We'll turn the gas off. Always turn your regulator off or on every time you use something. Don't let it sit on the regulator. That can cause lockup of the overpressure valve or inside here or this. And this is a 15-pound tank when it's new because it's a rental tank, exchange tank. You know, I paid $69 at Wise Market here in the Fredericksburg area of Virginia, and that would include the bill, 15 pounds. If you buy your own tanks, you can take them to places. They'll fill them up with 20 pounds. Okay, you get more for it, but you know, it's not a big deal. It's even cheaper, but it's the convenience. There's not a whole lot of places that are doing the filling the propane anymore. It's just too much labor, liability. BJ's in Fredericksburg does it, but maybe not. Maybe they stopped. You know, they had to. They did the tire shop people had to do that, and so you know that takes time. It's the money they're making on is a nickel and dime, really. So that's my video. I hope you enjoy it. I'm the Chesapeake Explorer. And I've got some other good cooking videos out there on the YouTube as well if you want to take a look. My Perdinell's River Chili, the LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson, Perdinell River. Hope I pronounced that right, Texans. I pronounced jalapeno wrong, and I know I got beans in my chili, and I know that the cowboys said, no, please don't add no beans. They would be obscene. Put some pepper in my pot. I like my chili hot. All right, that's it. Take care. Okay, here I'm boiling a baby lobster tail, one of those smaller ones. I've got the fire turned down. I use the old Nordic Ware, N-O-R-D-I-C, Nordic Ware aluminum broiler pans. They're heavy aluminum. They've got a, you know, a dish shape, platter shape, and they have an edge on them, so they're structurally strong. Okay, these were made, you know, in the late, well, during the 60s, the 70s, probably the 80s. You can get these things at Webb Restaurant Supply. I got my at thrift stores. You go to thrift stores and get them. And, you know, these work real well. Now, I've also got some shrimp. They're about medium size. I'm going to put them in with my tongs. If I can get up here and keep my camera going. I'm not going to put my hand in there, believe me. You don't need 1,000 degrees to broil this. But it broils better than a home oven does because it will get way hot in 550, and you can dial it in. You can't really dial a home oven in. I'll just open the needle valve a little bit more. Move my chair up. That's why I'm bouncing here. Sorry. Got my reading glasses on. I see that lobster tail sizzling right on the bottom of that plate. That plate's getting hot, hot, hot. Let me tell you. You see, as the hot plate gets hot, it transfers heat into the food. On this RB Works Cajun Bayou Broiler, or Bayou Broiler for short, or Cajun Broiler, you know, whatever you want to call it. That lobster meat's, it's turning white, and the shell is turning pink, red. You can see that. I think you can see it. Yep. I'm gonna turn it down. The shells will burn. Seafood is delicate. Those shrimp, they're broiling right up. In fact, they're just about done. That quick. They're a little bit translucent. I'm going to pull this lobster tail, and it'll stay hot, because this is very hot, and it goes in this plastic holder, which you'll see. That lobster is perfectly cooked. That's a perfectly broiled lobster. That's a little one. Bigger they are, the longer they take. You can split them. You can make lobster thermidor. But just remember the Cajun divers, when they were down in this habitat under the water there in, I think, Monaco back in the 60s, maybe 66, when they were told that they couldn't have lobster thermidor with lobster thermidor sauce, the gourmand French divers said, non to the homard. Yeah, they couldn't have that sauce, they didn't want it. That was because, I guess, getting sick under the water, the pressure or something, you know. They couldn't bring them up too fast, something like that. Okay, you don't have to turn these really, because that plate is hot. Just let them go until they're nice and tender and they're done, not overcooked. When you cook shellfish in the shell, you got to be careful. If you overcook it, you can't get it out of there, and those are done. And let me tell you, believe me, I'm not touching that with my hand. A little tiny bit of olive oil rubbed on there, and then I didn't use any garlic. These is for my mother, and she can't stand any kind of spice. Well, she likes garlic. She just can't have any lemon or anything, but you can do what you want. Whatever you can handle is what you can handle. That's great. I'm going to tell you, that's great. See how easy it is? Because you can dial that right in. Just pull this right out here. Getting off camera here. I'm doing 3 things at one time. I'm opening and closing my mouth, I'm running my mouth. Okay, and here you go. Here are these old-fashioned ones. Buy them at the thrift stores. I'm going to run this in a minute. You'll see it inside. Turn off the fire. Keep a good grip. Keep a good grip. You got to keep a good grip, you know. Just like that, you touch these things, but don't touch that. All right, and I'm going to make myself a pile of broiled shrimp later. I'll dial this right down. Sometimes it pops. Boop, it didn't. Turn off my regulator. And I'll run this right inside to the dining room to my mother. All right. Till my next broil on the RB Works Cajun Broiler. I'll show you pictures on the inside. There it is. That's broiled lobster. Little tiny bit of butter was put on there. Olive oil on that. Hot plate. It's good in my hand though. That's beautiful. Plain, you know. No spice. Broiled shrimp. Delicious. With a little tail on there so you can grab those little treats. Cajun RB Works Cajun Broiler. Cajun Bayou Broiler. I'll tell you, this is great. I knew it was going to be great because I've got their 4-gallon Cajun fryer. All right.